Hello time travelers and welcome new time travelers. As always, if you're new to this channel and enjoy learning historical events from around the world, then don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we're going to start off with Innocent the 8th condemned witchcraft on this day in 1484 via papal bull, and subsequently he dispatched inquisitors to Germany to try witches and persecuted a chief exponent of Renaissance resistance Pietism, Giovanni Paccio della Macanda. Moving on to 1757, when in his greatest victory, Persian King Frederick II, or the Great, defeated Austrians at Leuthen during the 7 Years' War. In 1782, Martin Van Buren, who served as the 8th President of the United States from 1837 to 1841, and was one of the founders of the Democratic Party, was born. And if you watched any of my videos about any of the presidents, he was actually one of the 8th president that I actually did. Now, 2 years later, in 1784, Phyllis Wheatley, the first African-American woman poet of note in the United States, died in Boston. In 1791, Austrian composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart died in Vienna at the age of 35. In 1839, U.S. cavalry officer George Armstrong Custer, whose achievements during the Civil War were later overshadowed by the disastrous outcome of the Battle of the Little Bighorn, was born. In 1848, in his annual message to Congress, U.S. President James K. Polk confirmed the discovery of gold in California, helping to spark the gold rush, which brought an estimated 300,000 people to the territory. In 1872, American brigantine Mary Celestia was found abandoned some 400 nautical miles, or 740 kilometers, from the Azores, Portugal. The fate of the 10 people aboard remains a mystery. That would be a good way to have my name go down or someone's name go down in history. Anyway, in 1890, director Fritz Lang, whose films dealing with fate and men's inevitable working out of his destiny are considered masterpieces of visual composition, was born in Vienna. In 1933, Utah became the 36th U.S. state to ratify the 21st Amendment, repealing prohibition. On this day in 1945, cost of living increased from January of 1941 which was formally set at 33% by the Office of Stabilization Administration, which ruled that manufacturers could base requests for higher prices to offset wage increase up to that level. 2 years later, in 1947, American boxer Joe Louis defended his heavyweight title against challenger Jersey Joe Wilcox in New York City. 1952 is when a lethal smog began blanketing London, causing thousands of deaths. The incident prompted passage of the Clean Air Act. 3 years later, in 1955, the American Federation of Labor Congress of Industrial Organizations, or the AFL-CIO, became a united body of autonomous labor unions, with George Meany as its first president. A year after the turn of the century, in 2001, the opposition United National Party wins legislative elections in Sri Lanka. Ranil Wickremesinghe is sworn in to replace Wickremesinghe as Prime Minister on December 9th. 2006 is when Fijian military leader Frank Bainimarama became acting president of the island country following a coup. 6 years later, in 2012, Brazilian architect Oscar Niemeyer, an early exponent of modern architect in Latin America, especially known for curvaceous glass and white concrete buildings that he designed for Brasilia, died at the age of 104. In 2013, South African nationalist and statesman Nelson Mandela, who helped end the country's apartheid system of radical segregation and ushered in peaceful transition to a majority rule, died at the age of 95. And our final event happened in 2017 when the International Olympic Committee banned Russia from the 2018 Winter Olympic Games in Pyongyang, South Korea, after uncovering a Russian state-sponsored doping program. And with that, we will return to 2024 and our current history. And as always, if you enjoy learning different historical events from around the world, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. I'll see you in the next one.